The autumn wind howled through the bare oaks around the Pinehurst Motel, its crooked sign creaking in the gray October light. In 1998, construction crews dug up a rusted Honda, a cord buried behind this forgotten Virginia stop, a car that hadn't been seen since CIA analyst Sarah Chin vanished in 1992. Her husband, David, never stopped searching, clinging to hope. But the car's discovery wasn't just a clue. It was proof of a dark secret tied to betrayal and murder. This wasn't just a missing person case. It was a conspiracy that reached deep into the CIA. Where are you watching from today? If you're gripped by this mystery, hit subscribe. Tomorrow's episode is even wilder. Sarah Chun was a star at the CIA. At 32, she had a knack for spotting patterns others missed. Her desk at Langley was stacked with files on Eastern Europe, her mind sharp as a blade. She'd analyze reports, connect dots, and write memos that shaped policy. Her husband, David, a math professor, loved her quiet intensity. They lived in a small Alexandria apartment, planning a family, maybe a house with a yard. Sarah ran along the Potomac every morning, rain or shine, her discipline unbreakable. But on February 15th, 1992, she didn't come home. She'd worked late at Langley. Signing out at 8:30 p.m. security log confirmed it. Her apartment was 30 minutes away, but she never made it. Her Honda Accord, license plate VHG 4721, vanished too. David called the police by midnight. The FBI took over, labeling it a missing person case. Sarah's top-secret clearance made it sensitive. They searched her apartment, her office, her bank records. Nothing. No withdrawals, no calls, no witnesses. The case went cold fast. David kept her clothes in the closet, her coffee mug in the cabinet, her glasses on the nightstand. He set a place for her at dinner every anniversary. Theories swirled. Had she defected? Was she in witness protection? Did foreign agents grab her? None fit. Sarah was loyal, her life open. Her sister, Emily, said she'd never run off. She loved David too much. The FBI interviewed colleagues, including her supervisor, Rebecca Martinez. Rebecca called Sarah brilliant, meticulous, the best analyst she'd ever seen. But even she had no answers. The trail ended at a grainy security photo. Sarah leaving Langley, smiling faintly, her green scarf bright against a winter night. 6 years later, the Pinehurst Motel changed everything. The motel, off a quiet highway in Culpeper County, had been a family-run stop for decades. Thomas Brennan, a Vietnam vet, owned it with his wife, Margaret, until her death in 1994. It closed in 1996, left to rot. In 1998, a crew digging for a new shopping center hit metal. Foreman Jim Morrison thought it was a septic tank. Then he saw the license plate. Detective Mike Hartley, a rookie when Sarah vanished, got the call. His boots crunched on the gravel as he stared at the rusted sedan, half buried in red clay. It was Sarah's. Hartley radioed dispatch, voice shaking. "We need the crime scene unit," the medical examiner, and Agent Rebecca Martinez from the FBI's Richmond office. "We found Sarah Chen's car." The wind carried a chill that sank into his bones. He remembered Sarah's case from his early days, how a CIA analyst with top clearance didn't just disappear. The car was empty, keys gone, no blood, no fingerprints. But in the trunk, sealed in a waterproof bag, was a briefcase. Inside were classified files, surveillance photos, and notes in Sarah's neat handwriting. They pointed to a mole in the CIA. Someone high up selling secrets. Hartley tracked down Thomas Brennan, now 68, living in a quiet Culpeper neighborhood. Brennan seemed shaken, claiming no memory of 1992. But Hartley's gut screamed otherwise. The motel had been a haven for travelers, maybe something darker. He noted Brennan's military past, Vietnam, military intelligence, later a brief stint at the Defense Intelligence Agency. Why would a man like that bury a car? Hartley wondered. The answer felt close, but dangerous. David Chin got the call at 3:47 p.m. He sat in his apartment, staring at cold coffee. "We found your wife's vehicle," Hartley said. 8 words that shattered 6 years of hope. David drove to Culpeper, meeting Rebecca at the site. She looked older, worn by years of chasing Sarah's ghost. She was investigating something big, Rebecca said. A mole in the agency. She thought she had proof. David's heart sank. Sarah had been hunting a traitor, and it cost her everything. What do you think happened to Sarah? Drop your thoughts in the comments. This story is just beginning, and I want to hear what's got you hooked. The Pinehurst Motel was a relic, its neon sign long dead, windows boarded. Thomas Brennan had run it for 30 years, a respectable man in Culpeper, shaking hands at church, sponsoring Little League. But the buried car cracked the story open. Hartley and Rebecca dug into his past. Brennan's Vietnam service wasn't just grunt work. He'd been in counterintelligence, sniffing out spies. After the war, he worked at the DIA, then bought the motel in 1962. Why leave intelligence for a roadside inn? Rebecca wondered. The answer came in Sarah's briefcase. The files were explosive. Coded names, bank transfers, photos of men meeting at the motel. Sarah had been tracking a network selling secrets to the Soviets. One name stood out. Deputy Director William Crawford, her boss's boss. Sarah's notes detailed his meetings at the Pinehurst, cash exchanges, and a handler codenamed Eagle. She'd written Crawford's dirty. Evidence in safe deposit box. Rebecca's blood ran cold. Crawford died in a 1993 car crash, ruled an accident. Too convenient, she thought. David pushed for answers. He found a safe deposit key hidden in Sarah's jewelry box after a break-in at his apartment. Someone had rifled through her desk, her files, but took nothing. They're looking for evidence, Rebecca said. At the bank, they opened box 247. Inside was a cassette tape labeled, "For David, if something happens to me." Sarah's voice filled the room, steady but urgent. "I've found a mole. Crawford selling secrets to the Soviets, using the Pinehurst Motel. Thomas Brennan's involved, ex-DIA. They know I'm close. If I'm gone, give this to the FBI. Don't trust the CIA. I love you, David." David's tears fell as Rebecca spread out the documents. Photos showed Crawford at the motel, meeting a man in a black sedan. Financial records linked offshore accounts to Crawford. A timeline mapped his trips to Culpeper, always at night, always cash. Sarah had been building a case, but she'd walked into a trap. Rebecca called Hartley. "Brennan's lying. He knows everything." But when Hartley went to Brennan's house, it was empty. A suitcase was gone. Neighbors saw him leave at dawn. A BOLO alert went out, but Brennan was a ghost. The motel became a crime scene. Forensic teams scoured the site, finding old guest logs in a storage unit. On February 15, 1992, Robert Williams checked into room 7 paid cash and gave a fake address. The signature was shaky, like someone nervous. Hartley showed it to a handwriting expert. It didn't match Brennan's. Rebecca suspected Crawford. "He lured Sarah here," she said. "Told her he had intel on the mole." She trusted him. The room yielded traces of blood, clean but not erased, on the carpet. David drove to motel, standing in the lot where Sarah's car was found. "Why here?" he asked Rebecca. "Why bury it?" She pointed to the woods. Privacy. Brennan knew how to hide things. His intelligence training wasn't rusty. They walked the property, David clutching Sarah's scarf from her apartment. A groundskeeper mentioned strange guests in the 90s. Men in suits, late-night arrivals, no luggage. One night, he saw a woman in a car, slumped over, not moving. He didn't report it. "Brennan paid us to look the other way," he admitted. Rebecca's team cross-referenced Sarah's files with CIA records. Crawford had been sloppy, leaving a trail of encrypted emails and coded calls. One name kept appearing, Richard Voss, codenamed Eagle. A Cold War operative, Voss ran a shadow network, recruiting men like Crawford and Brennan. He was still alive, living in McLean, Virginia. Rebecca wanted to move on him, but Hartley warned, if Voss is as deep, he's got eyes everywhere. The break-in at David's apartment proved it. Someone was watching. The woods behind the motel held more clues. A hiker found a rusted locket, engraved with S&D, Sarah and David's initials. It was half buried near a pine grove, a quarter-mile from the motel. Rebecca's got twisted. "She's here," she told Hartley. They brought in ground-penetrating radar. A faint anomaly appeared, 5 feet deep, the size of a body. David stood by, silent, as the team prepared to dig. "I need to know," he said. "I need to see her." "What's got you on edge about this case? The locket? The buried car? Share in the comments. I'm reading every one, and this mystery's only getting deeper." Thomas Brennan was done running. He'd driven 18 hours to a Scranton truck stop, his old pickup blending with the 18-wheelers. At a payphone, he called a number burned into his memory. "Phoenix Security Solutions," a woman answered. "This is Blackbird," he said, voice low. "I need Eagle." Richard Voss came on, his gravelly voice unchanged. "They found the car," Thomas said. "It's over." Voss was calm, cold. "Disappear, Thomas. New identity, South America. You've earned it." But Thomas was tired. "I'm telling the truth," he said, hanging up in a Walmart parking lot. He recorded his confession on a digital recorder. "My name is Thomas Patrick Brennan. I've been complicit in treason for 30 years. He detailed everything. His DI recruitment in 1963. The Pinehurst is a safe house. Crawford's betrayal. Sarah's murder. On February 15, 1992, Crawford arrived at 10 p.m. with Sarah, drugged, disoriented. He said it was national security. Thomas said, "I heard her screams from room 7. By 1 a.m., she was dead. Blunt force trauma. Crawford told me to bury her in the car. I did it to save myself." He mailed a recorder to Rebecca Martinez, then called 911, surrendering at the truck stop. Pennsylvania State Police cuffed him, and he felt relief for the first time in years. Back in Culpeper, he led Rebecca and Hartley to a clearing in the woods. "She's here," he said, pointing to a depression under pines. Dr. Sarah Williams ran radar, confirming a body-size anomaly. The dig began, slow and careful. Fabric appeared, then bones. Sarah's CIA badge was with her, wrapped in plastic. David, watching from the trees, broke down, but trouble came fast. 3 black SUVs rolled up, men in suits stepping out. Agent Thompson, CIA. The leader said, "Flashing a national security directive. Stop the excavation. This is classified." Rebecca drew her weapon. "This is a murder scene. You've got no authority." Thompson's men surrounded the site, armed and ready. Thomas shouted, "They'll kill us all to keep this quiet." Then FBI helicopters roared overhead, a task force landing. Assistant Director James Morrison stepped out. "Thompson, you're under arrest for obstruction." The CIA team was cuffed. The dig continued. Sarah's skeleton was intact, her skull fractured. The evidence was undeniable. Back at the FBI's Richmond office, Rebecca faced Richard Voss in interrogation. At 71, he was unshakable, admitting nothing. Sarah's death was an accident, he claimed. Crawford lost control. But Sarah's files, photos, recordings, bank records, nailed him. Voss ran a network selling secrets to the Soviets, Chinese, anyone with cash. The Pinehurst was one of dozens of safe houses. He'd ordered Sarah's death to protect it. David spoke through the intercom. "Was killing my wife worth it?" Voss stared at the glass. "She died for a larger purpose." David's rage boiled, but Rebecca stopped him. "He's done," she said. "Voss got life, no parole. Thomas got 20 years. His confession key to dismantling the network. 43 operatives were identified, 27 arrested. The FBI formed the Sarah Chun Counterintelligence Unit to prevent future betrayals. What hit you hardest in this chapter? Voss's coldness? Sarah's final resting place? Drop your thoughts below. This story's got me rattled too. Sarah Chun chased the truth and paid the ultimate price. Her car, buried behind a Pinehurst Motel, led to a conspiracy that shook the CIA. Thomas Brennan's confession and Sarah's hidden evidence expose a network of traitors from Crawford to Voss who sold secrets for decades. David found closure, laying Sarah to rest in Arlington, her legacy honored by a new FBI unit in her name. The truth, she died for saved countless lives. What's your take on Sarah's story? Comment below, hit subscribe, and join us tomorrow for a tale that'll grip you even tighter.